At number 3, I got Zeke, man. Ezekiel Elliott, let's be real, man. We know he cooks. He is Dallas's offense.
Wow.
Shout out to Dak. Shout out to Amari Cooper. Shout out to CD Lamb. Shout out to Galloway and all those other guys now. I mean, Gallup and all those guys down there. But we know, man, Zeke is the guy. He's the person that stirs that drink. Baby, that says, yes, sir. At number 2, man, I got new money. Christian McCaffrey, man. Mr. Run
Wait, number 2?
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Mr. Run CMC, man. I got him at 2, man. Listen, man, he was the only bright spot on that Panthers offense last year that was very, very dismal. I mean, we know they didn't have Cam Newton. We saw the situation with Kyle Allen. They even fired their coach during the season. But Christian McCaffrey figured out a way to continue to ball like he did what he did. And at number 1, man, it's simple, man. It's not even a debate. I got young Saquon Barkley, man. He has been balling in New York. Situation has been terrible between Eli transition to Danny Dimes, but between running the ball, between catching the ball, between blitz pickup, you name it, he does it. He can hit a gear and go. That's why he's number 1 on my list.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. Wait, where'd you have Henry? You had him at 5?
I had him at 5, yeah.
All right, so listen, with these top 3.
Here we go.
With these top 3.
Here we go.
With these top 3, I don't care where you have any of the top 3.
As long as they're the same top 3?
As long as they're the same top 3. I don't really care. Because I got Saquon at 3. I got Zeke at 2. McCaffrey at 1.
Fair enough.
I don't really care. I'm not going to make this big argument against Saquon because, dude, if you look at his rookie year, because I was comparing him to Zeke. I have Christian McCaffrey. Dude, his year was just a monster year. 2,300 yards from scrimmage, 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me get to my thing with Zeke and Saquon because I got Zeke over Saquon at 2 based off body of work. Just because, dude, his first 4 years, like whenever you compare him to, there was like 2 or 3 running backs that have only done what he's done in the first 4 years. Let me see if I have this copy and pasted here. If not, then we're just gonna say it was 2 or 3 elite running. It was like LT and like Terrell Davis and Zeke. It was like the amount of total yards,
and his first
receptions,
like, X amount of games.
And it was 3 things that you could do with a lot of people. And because people, dude, listen, I was watching the NBA this weekend. And they're trying to toss Chris Middleton into like Larry Bird and like these 4 other guys.
They will statue it. He's the only person to score 15 points in a 2-minute span in the third quarter in the first part of the third quarter.
There was like 5 guys, and it was like Larry Bird and like these all-time greats that they were throwing Chris Middleton into this list, which I actually think he did have those numbers, but I think it was like a 49.4% shooting, and they just threw him in there for the 50. Yeah. They just added him in. But anyway, my point is, you could throw all those stats in there, whatever. You could make it seem like whatever you want it to seem, but Zeke's first 4 years have been pretty much incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with him missing 6 games in his second season.
Absolutely.
So that's why I give it to Zeke. At the same time with Saquon, he's had more yards from scrimmage in his first year than any of Zeke's 4 years. Yes. But he's only played 2 seasons. He was a little banged up last year, a little bit of a down year. So that's why I got to give it to Zeke. I think Zeke's the better pure runner as opposed to Saquon, but Saquon's got that receiving ability. He had 91 receptions in that rookie year, which is crazy to me. Was it 91 or 77? I can't remember. It's one of those 2 numbers. But anyway, with those 2, that's why I got to give it to Zeke over Saquon. And then Christian McCaffrey, like I said, that year he had last year. And if we're talking about running backs, which is why we have Kamara in our top 10 too.
Very true.
They fill a different need now. It's just we want to win games. We want to put up yards. It's just, however, is it receiving? Is it running the ball? It doesn't really matter. And McCaffrey can do all that stuff. So I'm not going to knock him for maybe being a little bit less of a runner than Zeke and Saquon or even Derrick Henry. Like his ability to get those receptions and just his overall playmaking ability and to put up yards like that in a shitty offense like we were talking about with Carolina last year, that's impressive to me.
Yeah, I think when we come to those 3 guys,
top 3, I don't. Yeah, whatever you want to do, man.
The reason why I go Saquon is because I still love the pure element of my running back dominating as a runner, not as a receiver. And Saquon still can do it out the backfield catching the ball.
Yeah, it was 91 receptions. That was right.
And obviously that's where McCaffrey excels as the receiving threat out of there. But it's just certain things. It's like with Zeke. Zeke dominates from a running standpoint, but he isn't one of those type of guys who's catching, like I said, 80, 90 passes. Whereas with Saquon and McCaffrey, they give you both of that. But the reason I go Saquon is because I know I can line up under center, hand him the ball off, and he's gonna cook. I know I can line up in a gun, throw him the ball, he's gonna cook.
Close that. Those two, I think Zeke and Saquon can close out a game for you a little bit more than McCaffrey.
Yes. Whereas McCaffrey, though, just like Kamara, they can take over games and cook throughout the whole game. Yeah. But
you're just like, I have no way to stop this dude.
Right. But the thing is, I think about what Kamara, remember when he was really dominating, obviously this last year he dealt with some injuries, when he had Ingram, because Ingram was more of your thumper, your closeout type of guy, but Kamara, because of the mismatches that he creates, he's able to do some of those things where he can just take over throughout a game. But for me, like I said, I love when it's because I mean with L Bell, that's what 4 years I seen it. I was a recipient of it, man. Like we know you could throw him the ball, he was gonna cook, and then it's 4 minutes left in the game. Elbow was getting the ball every single time, and there's nothing you could do to stop
Titans
him,
game was the big one. I remember that one. He just dominated that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to it at all. I think either one of those two could overtake the top spot. I think Saquon, if between him and Zeke, has the better upside to take over that top spot, just because
he could do more, I think.
Man, just a little bit more. But like I said, with Zeke's body of work and what he's just been able to do, that's why I got him at 2, Saquon at 3. And Christian McCaffrey, I just can't deny that last year. That's an absurd last year.
This is the thing that I want to know, though. So we talk about with Zeke and we talk about with Saquon. If you flip them, do you think Zeke can have the same amount of success with the Giants? Whereas we know for a fact Saquon could go to Dallas and he's just going to go just out of this world.
Hey, it's a fair point. That's a fair point. Wow. That is a fair point.
Because we talk about the Dallas offensive line. We talk about the Dallas offense in general. We're taking Dak over Daniel Jones. We're taking the Cowboys receivers over the Giants receivers. That's why I'm just kind of like, man, Zeke is, phenomenal. But Zeke's situation is perfect.
It has been his whole career.
Right, where Saquon has went through transition. He came in with Eli.
That's a fair point, dude. That's a fair point. And I think Saquon definitely has the ability to go over Zeke, at least for that 2 spot, maybe the 1 spot in this upcoming season. I have no doubt about that. I just can't deny, like I said, McCaffrey's last year, which was just absurd. And I don't really think that's going to be going anywhere. I think he's going to be putting up similar stats, maybe a little bit of a drop, but that's still going to be absurd.
You think the drop? I think it's going to be better because now, at least with Teddy Bridgewater, you have a legit threat, man, compared to Kyle Allen.
Him putting up bigger numbers than last year, I just can't even fathom. It's like,
this is my thing, man. When I think of, if not bigger, identical. Because now, think about last year, man. When you were playing the Panthers, were you really worried about Kyle Allen beating you? Were you worried about him in that regard? With Teddy, you have to respect him a lot more than you did Kyle Allen. So you're not going to be able to play certain defenses against Teddy Bridgewater as well. So I think all of those things open it back up more so for McCaffrey. Because right now, when you play in the Panthers, we got to make sure we take him out. Other than that, who's really a threat to us? This year is going to be different, though. And that's why I'm saying to myself, I think that McCaffrey can ball out even more so and be more effective and actually get a lot more wins from that as well. Now, granted, they got the new head coach, so that's a whole nother situation because of how this offseason has went. But I just think it's going to be a really good situation for him down there.